And hello, hi everyone. Okay, I just want to share my history of how my history of how I got Parkinson's and what it has done to me. How's my life is? How was it before and after? And yeah, basically about me and dealing with Parkinson's before and after diagnosis. Okay, it's a brief background about me. My name is Kirubananthan. Okay, people know me because of well, in the younger days in school, people used to know me because I dance a lot. Okay, breakdance was I was born in the 70s. When I was as a young teenager, 10 years old, 12 years old, I was into breakdancing and. Yeah, so my hometown people know me because of dancing during that time. Then the college years I started painting. I always had the interest in arts, and that got me into studying graphic design after my Form 5 SPM. I studied in Equator Academy of Arts in Penang. I was born and bred in Butterworth. Okay, I was raised up in Butterworth, and I used to live in BM2, Bukit Mutajam, Macam Ubu, and now I'm staying in Tanjung Bunga after getting married. Right, it has been almost 14 years now. Okay, living in Tanjung Bunga. I worked in Batu Kawan in the industrial park for a multinational company, and currently I'm in a prolonged illness leave. That means 6 months of fully paid leave, another 6 months of half paid leave, which is now currently in the half paid leave window. And then the last window would be the 6 months of no pay leave, and then my contract with my employer will be void, no income. Okay, so anyway, let me start back and I loved arts, and then I went into graphic designing and I started painting. While studying, I always had a passion or interest for fine arts, so I ended up being introduced to some friends who does arts in Komta, fourth floor, near the same floor as the Balai Police, in a place called Perindu Alam. It's an open air souvenir shop, and there'll be a few of us doing portraits. So I got to know the seniors like Ismail, Arifin, the artists, and all of them, and became very good friends, and we started hanging out there and start on my free time, weekends, after class, whatever, I'll be there. So that period of time, people know me because of arts. Kiru artist. Then I ventured into hotel line, graduated, ventured into hotel line, started becoming display artist, and now I'm doing sculpture work. So people know me for my styrofoam, 3D sculpture, decoration, etc. So all this is hand skills, And then I went to, I gave up all this stuff, and then I went to manufacturing. Okay, and became a supervisor for production executive. They call it production executive for Selectron. Okay, and that was my first stepping stone into manufacturing. After 12 years of hotels and being an artist, I gave up that thing and started doing learning about manufacturing on the job. Management skill I already had at the time because the 10th or 11th year of being an artist, I was already a manager, the arts department manager, they call it, because I know how to do ice carvings, and some bit of butter sculpture, chocolate carving, etc. In the kitchen, culinary arts, and also I don't know how to cook, but I know how to decorate. and I went into and I also know about the PR side of it. PR arts, meaning designing menus, the advertisement backdrops, stage backdrops, etc. So it's supposed to have two heads, but because I know both, they will put me in charge of both and give me peanuts to work with. So then I couldn't take it. I quit the job and I got this Selectron starters. So I was working there and I was working shifts and all that. All was fine. After almost 17 years of doing it, 2020, I noticed that my knees sometimes get wobbly. Like it wants to give way, like anytime I want to fall down, that kind of feeling. But at the same time, I thought it was because I was doing night shifts, lack of sleep. And then 2022, I noticed my thumb was twitching. That's the first symptom, signs of something is wrong. Thumb was twitching, so I thought it's not continuous, it's on and off. And I used to do paintings and sketches and all that in front of people in public. I used to man 150 operators in front of me, giving them the briefing, morning briefing, etc. So I never had any issues of anxiety and all that. But towards the year I was diagnosed, which is 2023, I had irregular heartbeat. So I had irregular heartbeat, and I thought that was the cause of the shaking, the tremor, that I'm having anxiety and all that. So I always go back to the cardiologist. They put me Holter and all that. They say fine. At that time, I'm still okay and all that. But now they have found that I have arrhythmia, under control with the medicine. But yeah, there are episodes here and there. But it's not as serious as Parkinson's. Okay, and then what happened is 2022 December, I felt ill. I had chikungunya. I was admitted for a week in a hospital, Magan specialist, and the guy who treated me, the doctor who treated me, young doctor, he had a sub-study of neurology. So he saw my hands and legs were shaking, which I thought I was shaking because of fever. My right hand side limbs were okay. Left is the one was shaking. And then he noticed that, and he asked me to, so, this thing, you have some kind of tremor, you better go look for a doctor, a neurologist which specializes in movement disorder. So, and I suggested that I go and see this doctor by the name of Dr. Lim Tian Tian from Island Hospital. So I went there. Within 45 minutes, I'm waiting, and another 10 minutes of him, observing me, asking me to walk up and down and do this and stuff like that. Within 15 minutes or what, tops, he diagnosed me with Parkinson's. So I was devastating, and my daughter, my only daughter, she was born year 2019. And it was 2023 I was diagnosed, January. So it was pretty hard on me. I took it quite seriously. Depressed for 6 months. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't breathe. The last when I was about to doze off, struggling with sleeping and all that, when I feel like as if I'm gonna doze off, that's the time that I feel it's going to be my last breath. So anxiety, panic attack, etc., etc. So then these first 3 months of beginning to accept the reality of it, I went try to look for more information. I'm a kind of guy, if I go in any field, I'll go deep dive lah. Right? So I started reading about Parkinson's and what is the nature of the sickness, why this is happening to me, how I got it, etc., etc. So it can be genetics. That's what the doctor told me. It can be genetics, it can be environment. If I work in a chemically induced area, I handle chemical every day, something like that. I may get Parkinson. So it can be environment, it can be genetics. If my forefather said it, or whatever. But none. My mom's side and father's side, nobody has Parkinson's. My father passed away when he was very young, 47 years old. And he lived longer than that. I don't know whether he would have got it or not. But he never showed any signs of it, that he had Parkinson's. No tremor, nothing. Okay, so that's that. And then another thing is trauma. If you had head injury, you are highly, the risk of having chances of you having Parkinson's is very high. That's why Muhammad Ali, too many punches on the head. Then he ended up having a head trauma, which caused Parkinson's. So now, what is Parkinson's? Our brain manufactures or produces a hormone called dopamine. There are so many other hormones. One of the hormones that the brain produces is called dopamine. So dopamine has two functions. It's the happy hormone. It is the hormone that gives you the satisfaction of completing a job. When you do something, a task and thing, you complete your task, like, okay, you want to clean up the house. You really clean up the house and then you sit back and then you enjoy the thing, wow, I did this. The sense of achievement. You want to get up in the morning, go to school, go to work, etc., etc. All this is controlled by dopamine. It gives you that semangat lah, the spirit, of completing stuff. That is dopamine. Now, another function of dopamine is it's the messenger between your brain and your muscles. So if I want to go grab a cup of coffee or something, grab something, if I want to hold this, all the muscles that need to be moved and the brain sends the signals, which muscles to move, etc., etc., but through dopamine. Dopamine is the messenger. It carries the signals, the electrical signals to your muscles. So when your your brain deteriorates for some reason, for some unknown reasons why the damages happen, the portion of the brain that produces the dopamine, so our muscles tend to get less dopamine. So when you get less dopamine, there will be less signals, which makes the muscles a bit confused, and that's why the shaking starts. Okay, so when the shaking starts, normally it will start on the part of your limbs which is the non-dominant one. If you are right-handed, it will happen most probably on your left. So from your left leg, your left hand, etc., etc., you go. So it affects all muscles. Okay, makes it fatigued. weak and it shakes beyond. You don't have control over your own body. You cannot be still. Okay. So, what do they have right now? Okay, this is the thing. This is the reality I'm living in right now. Okay. So, do they have a cure? No, they don't have a cure. But they do have medicines to to force the brain, the okay side of the brain, which is still okay, to force produce the hormone a bit more to balance off the lack of it. You get what I mean? Okay, so it will never be as good as a normal healthy person's hormone production, dopamine production in our brains, but it will be better than nothing, right? So the thing is, it will top up whatever lacking this thing dopamine there is lah. So what the doctor do is, it's called madopa, levodopa, macam-macam lah. Okay, the name of the brands and the chemical thingy, the drug it is called madopa for the one they give in GH. So madopa, they start you with half of a tablet. Quarter of a tablet to start with. There is no way that we can detect Parkinson through imaging, like MRI scanning or etc. Nothing. There is no way to find out through your blood test and all that. There's no such thing. Okay, there's no way. The only way you can be diagnosed is through behavioral observation. How you walk, okay, how's your body language is, where you shaking, etc. That's how they know you have Parkinson's. Okay, and then they start how much of this tablet, this medicine we need, Parkinson's patient need, is trial and error. Okay, how many we need, it's trial and error. So they put you in quarter and they will ask you to come back in 1 week. See whether you still have a tremor or do you feel comfortable. If not enough, another half, another quarter. And I started off quarter twice a day in 2023. Now I'm taking 1 full tablet and a quarter 4 times a day, supported by another pill, medicine called entacapone, which assists the manufactured hormone to stay a bit more longer. The produced dopamine, the force produced dopamine, to stay longer in the brain. They have another medicine. And I got restless leg syndrome. For that I'm taking CIMB 0.375. So 3 kind of medicines. And at night I take HSB madopa, meaning the slow release type. Same medicine but slow release type to help me to sleep. So I need to take all these medicines, and because of the high dosage, I have already developed the side effects of the medicine, which is dyskinesia, dystonia and all that. Okay, sometimes my body will be shaking, and now it's just start the wrist shaking like that. Okay, and there will be jolts, all that is not because of Parkinson, it's because of the side effect of the medicine. Okay, and sometimes I feel hyperactive. Okay, sometimes, most of the time my problem would be constipation, lack of sleep. Okay, it is not an easy condition to live with. Okay, it disturbs every part of your muscles. Madopa, the medicine gets absorbed in our small intestines. That is where also the protein we take, chicken lah, paga, whatever we eat, is also being absorbed there. So another challenge is the medicine and protein will be fighting for the spot where the usus, the intestines, absorb the medicines or the protein. So that means if there is constipation, you're not clearing your bowels as much as possible. The area is always, there is residue there. Medicines will be not absorbed fully, and that will make the tremor more higher. So that's that condition. And then there's this dyskinesia, my toes, my ankles, they get cramps unnecessarily, unpredictable. Okay, and it normally happens in the toilet when I strain myself, trying to clear my bowels, pass motion. So when I strain, and that's when the thing will happen, and I have my own tricks what to do next. Yeah, just imagine you are inside the toilet, your leg, you already do your business already, you need to clean up, but during that time, your legs is cramped up. You cannot stand up, you cannot sit down. Yeah. So I have to wait until the muscles get tender. I massage there. I spray with the Berhad, some water or what, to get my mind of it, and eventually, slowly it will release. Then I do my business again, shower and all that. So the more this thing cannot be cured or cannot be reversed. But what can it be done is we can slow down the progression by proper medicine, take proper time, and a lot of exercises, movement exercises. You have to do exercise. But the problem with me right now is I cannot do heavy exercises because of the arrhythmia. Okay, and then the doctor also suspect maybe the arrhythmia is the one causing the tremor because lack of oxygen in my brain. That's what the neurosurgeon said in GH. And okay, so all these things happening to me, and because of the side effects of the medicine. So the doctor suggested that I need to do DBS. Only way I can have a better quality of life is doing DBS. DBS, deep brain stimulation. What is that? Deep brain stimulation is, they call it pins, a tiny blade kind of thingy, electrodes with wires and all that. They will drill 2 holes, a mask up, and plant these electrodes in my brain, and the wires will be tucked behind my ears. It goes all the way to my chest, and there'll be a module here, like a transmitter module here, just like your pacemaker and all that, Sorry, not pacemaker, pacemaker. Okay, for people with cardio problem. So something like that, and the doctor will hold the control. That's a remote control. So what it does is, it sends electrical signal to your brain to confuse your brain, that stops the tremor or reduce the tremor. Okay, so that means eventually what the doctor can do is, once they adjusted what's the voltage and everything, my reliance on dependency on my medicines will be lesser. They won't take off everything, but then they can reduce the medicines lah. So when they do that, my side effects all will go. I won't have side effects. So this thing can last for 12 to 15 years. The battery, everything can last for 12 to 15 years. So there's two kind of electrodes, two different kind of company lah. One is the American one, which has been in the market for a long while already now, and it's proven because they have the long-term data. That costs like around 150k Malaysian money, 150 plus with the surgery plus everything. Island Hospital quoted me like around 240,000 Malaysian money. Okay. Even though I work as a mid management in a multinational company, my pay is just an average pay, but I had a lot of hobbies lah. Yeah, I don't have that much of savings, and 240,000 is way beyond my capability. I mean my capacity. Okay, I got a 6-year-old daughter to raise. She's going standard 1 now. I got an elderly mother and 2 sister-in-laws that we taking care also. My wife works for an NGO, and she works flexible hours. Okay, so that's that. Sorry, come back again. The American one. The American one is nearly 150,000. Then there's another Chinese product that they just released. That will cost around 70k, but just the thing alone, but the whole entire surgery, etc., in a private hospital will come around 120 to 150. Okay, but they say it's okay, but then there's always a question mark because it's relatively a new product in the market, and it has been so they cannot say about what's the we don't have a long-term data lah. So if I were to go for it, then it will be something like I'm a guinea pig, you know. So another option is GH General Hospital. I also have been following since the rejection of my SOCSO application last year. Everything they asked me to do, I follow up to the T. I never miss anything. Even if I miss, I reschedule again, ask for another date, I'll go. So I go for physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, rehab, and neurologist, and neurosurgeon, and yeah, all these 6 areas lah in GH, and also psychiatric. Okay, one of the requirements if you want to have DBS, you need to have a psychiatric evaluation now. Because there are some complications there. If you have depression, you cannot do DBS because it will trigger that part of the brain which controls your anxiety and all that, and you might harm yourself, etc., you know, things like that. So, and then the best window time is before 5 years of diagnosis for you to do DBS. Okay, so DBS is deep brain stimulation. That's the only currently available and proven treatment of Parkinson's. Not for people with advanced stages, you know, that you know, within 5 years one. I am reaching the threshold of 5 years. Another 1 more year down the road. 2023 January. I'm going to go to the third year now. I'm going through the third year. Comes 2027, it will be 4 years already. I don't want it to be to reach that threshold that it doesn't work for me. DBS doesn't work for me anymore. So that's why the rush. That's why the fundraising happening. And all these activities going on. So yeah, everything in my life right now, I'm in a condition like first half of the day I sleep because it is so wobbly. Even if after the medicine my ankles are wobbly, I need to walk with a walking stick in the morning and in the afternoon. Right after lunch, I take my third dosage like around 4 o'clock. Only then I feel a bit more energetic and the confidence to walk myself. So that's my life, my current life. I miss motorcycling. I miss going on convoys. I miss meeting my friend. I miss being independent. I can't even send my daughter to school. Yeah. Oh well, okay. So that's that. Yeah. So I hope I'll get your support. All of you guys, you have given me so much of money and support. All this time, especially the Royal Enfield fellas. You know who you are, man. Travel group, salute. Okay. Royal Enfield fellas, and all kind of motorcyclists that know me, Zam, Rotten Moto, all the other groups I can't think of the names now, but you know who you are. You have touched my life. I don't know how I'm going to repay again. My humble thank you for you guys. And for those who have made sure that I'm comfortable, made sure that I have the strength to do what I want to do. Okay, buying me stuff, supporting me, giving me moral support, giving me the prayers and whatnot. I love you guys, man. I love you all, man. So if this thing works out, I don't care whether it's GH or private hospital. This thing works out, and I still have some bit of energy in me. Each and one of you, if I can, I would want to go and draw your faces, like a portrait, a painting, a sketch, a sculpture of you guys, whoever contributed, to give back to you guys, Lord. And I want to give something to the society also. So I got my medical report from GH to submit for the second time around for SOXO, for Pakeso. GH doctors already told me that I'm banned from driving. I failed their driving test in a stimulator. I get cramps. I can't walk. They already told me that in the letter, they already suggested that I'm not fit to work. I paid my dues. I paid my insurance money for SOXO. For the past 30-40 years I'm working. It's time for them to give me back. I don't want to be a liability to myself, especially I don't want to be a liability to others being forced to go to work. So please, Pekeso, medical board, wherever you are, please help. I need help here. Thank you guys.